I've never met everybody, but everybody says inflation is bad. I've never met Jim Chalmers either, but I suspect Jim would quietly confide that for him, inflation has been good. So what are they not telling us about the budget? They're not telling us that inflation lessens debts and deficits. And it's lessened ScoMo's pandemic deficit of $143 billion by $14 billion or 10%. It's lessened Wayne Swan's $54 billion GFC deficit by almost 30%. While all the political and media pundits are sobbing about inflation, the other thing that they are not telling us is that they are all on 200K, or most of them, 200K plus salaries. So they are all personally getting $9K a year extra in their kick from the Stage 3 tax cuts. And that's why they are not telling us that the Stage 3 tax cuts are inflationary, which they are. And nobody's telling us, of course, that the flip side of this unfairness coin is that inflation is being combated unfortunately, by low to middle income earners. They will, and they're not telling us this, they will be $1,080 worse off because both major parties have quietly let slip the Lamito tax offset. $1,000 worse off, while the wealthy wage earners are looking forward to their $9,000 extra in tax breaks. But just quietly, this removal of the Lamito offset is good news for Jim Chalmers. And he wouldn't tell us that because making poorer people poorer combats inflation. They simply haven't got enough money to spend. These people are the lifters, the ordinary wage earners. They are doing the heavy lifting. Well, let's say we, because I'm in that category too. These people are getting belted by the banks, they're getting belted by their landlords, the supermarket prices, they're getting belted pillar to post, while the big income earners are happy to call for Stage 3 tax cuts because they, and they never tell you this, are personally gaining from them. Now, Angus Taylor, in his budget reply speech, will presumably be carrying on a treat about inflation and economic management. And Angus will tell you that Jim's surplus is a fluke. Drover's dog, I think, was the term he used. It's just down to surging tax receipts thanks to surging commodity prices, and he would be right. Now, Jim is telling us that too. It's something that the Labor Party have up their sleeve. That is greater credibility than the other mob. The other thing they are not telling us, though, is that this whole budget caper is a publicity stunt. Our reporter Callum Foote did a story on the 22 pre-budget leaks to various newspapers and media outlets. The government, as with all budgets, sprays the scoops around, sprays the largesse around to as many media houses in access for comment deals as it can to garner support and popularity for its budget. Effectively, this is advertising. It allows them to win votes. By the time that all the journos and the economists and the various political and media classes, all the big names looking forward to their $9,000 Stage 3 tax cut gratuity, by the time they all descend on Canberra for budget lockup, where they're literally quarantined from the world for 5 or 6 hours to make sure nothing is leaked, from a budget document whose substance has already been leaked, to none other than themselves, mind you, while they are telling us again what they have already told us. And then they all get out and have a few clarets, get out on the town in Canberra and get wasted. By the way, what they are not telling us too about this tiny tax hit, as they're calling it, on fossil fuel exporters, they're not telling us that it collects no additional revenues over the life of the projects, or minimal. Whatever deductions they can't use get carried forward at the long-term bond rate. So what they're doing is just bringing revenue forward, robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's not a bad thing, it's just weak, a piddling $2.4 billion. And what they're not telling us is that this so-called big gas tax hit, and it's nothing of the sort, they're not telling us that Aussies are paying more in tax on beer than the oil and gas foreign multinational exporting corporations pay in PRRT. And they are not telling us that they have inadvertently stumbled on the answer to corporate tax dodging, as well as inflation. Just capped deductions for good. Cap them so that they have to disclose a taxable income upon which they have to pay tax. It's so elegant, it's simple, because their corporate paymasters would start gnashing their teeth and frothing at the mouth as they levitated in sheer fury. What a circus it is. Thanks for your support here on the West Report. If you can sling us a few bucks, we can ramp up video production. Like and comment below. Thank you.